What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about the Evercade Alpha announcement that just happened today. The much rumored, much speculated device from Evercade. It's got a lot of people kind of caught off guard. Of course, if you watch this show, you knew exactly what they were going to announce. Well, sort of. Okay, so let's rewind the clock. Let's go back a couple months. Evercade did a little refresh of the EXP and the Versus, the two consoles. Kind of slimmed them down a little bit, removed some features, made them a little bit more affordable for some people like me that hasn't really jumped on full board with the Evercade. I've got the Super Hyper Pocket, but I never really got the EXP. Really wasn't digging the form factor, or really wasn't digging the design of that form factor. It's a little bit more appealing now. The price is also a little bit more appealing. So I've got one of those on pre-order, but I was really curious about what they were going to come out with, what they were going to announce. A lot of people were talking about maybe it was going to be more powerful hardware to run more powerful games. And I thought that maybe that was probably going to be the case. But I also thought that maybe, just maybe, we couldn't really rule out the arcade aspect of it, because there's kind of this black hole, this vacancy, this void within the home arcade space, since Arcade One Up is kind of pulled away. And I thought, well, maybe they will do some kind of a bar top, that would play their cartridges. But that's just crazy, right? Well, maybe it's not so crazy, because that's exactly what they announced today. This is now, for those of you who don't know exactly the size of this and what's going on, to give you an idea. Yeah, your eyes are not deceiving you. This looks exactly like a countercade, and it is exactly the same size as a countercade. You're looking at a 16.4-inch tall countercade, basically right at the same height as those third generation two-player countercades. You're going to have a Street Fighter version and a Mega Man version, and these things look pretty good. I mean, we're going to talk about some of the features in just a second. You're going to see some ports here on the front. Obviously, that's going to be for some cool stuff that the the Arcade One-Ups never could quite get right. But we'll look a little bit closer. You can see the construction of these are pretty similar to the countercades. The speaker is going to be on the side instead of down firing. Not sure exactly how that's going to sound. You get that big blue sort of shape of the cabinet with a large marquee, and the marquee is going to be lit. And here's the games that are going to be included. We'll start with the Street Fighter version. This is not just 6 different Street Fighters, Street Fighter 2s, I should say. You've actually got some decent variety. So you've got Puzzle Fighter 2, you've got Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Championship Edition, but kind of the shocker is the fact that you're getting the Street Fighter Alpha series on this, which is really cool. And I can't believe they actually beat Arcade One Up to the punch, getting the Street Fighter Alphas in some kind of form factor. So I think that's pretty cool. The Mega Man variant is going to be not super heavy on Mega Man. You're going to have Final Fight, Carrier Wing, Mega Man 2, and you're going to have Strider and then Knights of the Round. So not the greatest lineup. I'm going to call this just the other games. You're gonna have Street Fighter and then all the other ones, right? So, but that big marquee does look good. If this is any indication, this is going to be a pretty good looking little countercade. They also even have a little, I guess that's like a red coin button, insert coin button on the front there. So not too shabby, but there's some interesting stuff going on the front here. You can see that, okay, you've got 2 cartridge slots. You're gonna be able to put 2 different cartridges in the front. So that's pretty cool. Much like the Versus console that they have, you can put 2 cartridges in, so that's cool. You're going to be able to play those either with the included single player controller, or you actually see there's 2 USB ports on the front where you can use the Versus controllers to play 2-player games. That was something that Arcade One-Up just really couldn't get right at all. They also have a headphone jack, another thing that Arcade One-Up did actually have. So they have kind of taken that countercade that Arcade One-Up had, the thing that kind of peaked with the 2 players, and then sort of kind of went on a downhill slide. We lost, if we're talking about the Arcade One-Ups, right? We lost the lit marquees. We went from 2 players back to 1 player, fewer games, and it was just kind of, and then they just sort of disappeared. You only had a couple available in the States. The Street Fighter version of that single player wasn't even available in the States. It was only available in the UK. So it's just, we kind of missed out on a Street Fighter proper countercade. So that's where this guy really has me intrigued, really has me interested. The fact that I do have, I guess I got like about 10, I'm looking at my games over here. I got about 10 Evercade games. Some of them are going to be good for arcade play. Some of them are going to be just a console and would be right at home on this. So I think that the fact that you've got 6 included games, you've got the ability to use a controller a legit controller, whatever controller you want for two-player action is the idea that we all had, the thing we were screaming in Arcade One Up to try to get right, and they never could. And then the fact that you can expand this to like, what do they have, like I think like 50 cartridges or 500 games, so you could really kind of add a lot of games to this without having to download anything. Now that doesn't mean that this thing doesn't have Wi-Fi, because it actually does. Wi-Fi is going to be included on these for updates and added features. I doubt we're going to see any games, but it's nice to have Wi-Fi on there. Is it really going to be necessary? Well, I guess it depends on the amount of firmware updates we're going to have or the features you're going to want to add. It's something that, like I said, it's nice to have, and it's something that the Arcade One Up variant, the Countercade, never had. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. So this is all fine and good, but we need to talk about the big thing, which is going to be the price. Well, the price is going to be right here for the US customers. You're going to be looking at either one of these as they sit now for $229. Now, that's a pre-order price. It's going to be, the pre-order is going to start, I believe, June 4th. The standard price is going to go up to $250 out that. That's kind of in line. That's close to where the two-player countercades were. They were like $229, then they settled around 100 and 199. They would kind of fluctuate back and forth, but the current single-player uh, Arcade One Up countercades are rocking about 179 to 199. So there's a lot more features in this than those countercades. Of course, if you were missed out, if we missed out, or if you missed out, if you didn't get your hands on a Street Fighter 2 countercade, like maybe that Steve Aoki, and there were only 30 made, or if you didn't import something from the UK, then that would be something I think you would definitely be interested in. It's a good games list and the ability to expand the games with any kind of cartridges you may have. One thing I'm not seeing is an HDMI out, which is kind of something that really would maybe take this to the next level. I mean, it's a very, very cool piece of desk art or desk crap. Price, I think 229 is not bad. 250 seems a little bit high for me. It'd really be nice to get this thing lower, but I think realistically, you got to consider what you're getting out of this. You're getting a lot more expandability with the games, and also the ability to plug in controllers is pretty cool. But listen, your mileage may vary. Your opinion may be different. There's going to be another variant too. You're going to have a deluxe version. So this is, I pulled this off their Facebook page, Evercade's Facebook page, and you're going to have a deluxe edition, which is going to be a little bit more expensive. And unfortunately, by the price that I'm seeing, I don't know this is going to be these deluxe editions are even going to be available in the US. We'll have to see how that shakes out, right? But pre-orders start popping up July 4th. If you can't get one imported here, deluxe edition imported, well, I guess we're going to be missing out. But what are you going to be missing out on? Well, you're going to be missing out on an included controller. You're going to get 3, or I guess really going to be 6, which is all 6 games are included. You're going to get 3 additional marquees you can swap out. The original version comes with 3. This is going to come with 6, 1 for each included game. You're going to get a poster, and you're also going to get Sanwa controls, which is a big one. Now, they say that the other controls on the standard edition are competition grade, competition quality, whatever that means. I have no idea. I'm assuming that's going to be a knockoff, something maybe similar to what Arcade One Up has. But this was going to include Sanwa controls. Is that the biggest deal in the world? I guess if you're going to use this with using included controllers, sure. But if you're really not, if you're going to just kind of go back to the regular controllers, it doesn't really matter to you. But you're looking at, some value there. I think that it probably justifies the price increase to 289 euros, which is, about the same price you're going to spend if you were to import this to the States, about the same price point. So let's say $290 US. So you're looking at a pretty decent jump. Is it going to be worth it to you to try to get this? I don't know, especially if you can't even get your hands on it in the States. It may not even be worth trying to import it and pay some extra shipping. I think for me, I'd probably be just as happy with this, and then buy a controller later if I want, and I'll just be happy with, the included marquees that you can swap out, the 3. I think that'll be fine. I'm not going to be that bent out of shape about it, but it would be nice to have that available in the States. So, is this something that you absolutely need? Of course not. Nobody needs anything, right? Nobody needs any of this stuff. But if you're a fan of the countercades, and you're kind of bummed that Arcade One Up never gave us a Street Fighter 2 countercade, this seems to be the way to go. And the fact that it is the same size as the countercades, if you've got a collection of these, if you've got a countercade counter or countercade shelf, this is going to fit right in with those other countercades. So, is this exactly what I wanted? I mean, I listed it as like an option. I think I would have rather had maybe a little more powerful hardware, maybe a handheld with a larger screen. But since I am kind of a countercade fan, even though I'm currently short on counter space, this is not bad. And I'm definitely interested in the Street Fighter, and just the standard edition. I think is going to be fine with me. 229 bucks is a little bit more than I wanted to pay, but considering that I already have a small library of Evercade carts, I'm going to be able to expand my library or expand my play experience on this. But the only thing I'm missing, the thing I'm really missing, is that HDMI out. Maybe they could have got rid of the Wi-Fi and just included an HDMI out, and then give us the ability to plug that into a TV just to have that option. But beyond that, I don't know. I don't think I'm really disappointed. Kind of wanted maybe something a little bit more advanced, but this is definitely not bad. But it begs the question, why can no one break into that three-quarter scale market? You know, because New Wave Toys didn't do it. Evercade, this was going to be a rumored three-quarter scale cabinet. They didn't do it. I guess it's a little bit tougher of a nut to crack. If only someone could come in and blow up the market and give, RK1 up a little bit of competition. At least Evercade is giving them some competition on the countercade scene. Anyway, what do you think about this? Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see all of you next time.